I was watching an interview with the musician John Baptiste, and he was giving advice to musicians and who want to know what's the best way they can improve. And he focused on the power of listening. Of course, as a musician, you need to listen. It's an auditory art form. But he was talking about listening to your other musicians. He's a jazz musician, how important that is. But then he said it's also in life. He said you really want to listen in life. That's the way you engage. That's the way you discover. And I have to agree on a couple levels. For one thing, when I'm interviewing, that's where I really learned to listen. It was in interviewing because I don't write down my questions ahead of time, and so I just tune into the what the guest is talking about. What I'm listening for is something that really interests me because I guide the conversation a little bit, and so I pay attention, and then something lights up in what they've said. And, ooh, let's explore that a little bit more. So listening is very important. It tells me who they are, it tells me what they're interested in, and it helps me find what I'm interested in the conversation. But this listening power, this ability to listen, extends to writing also. Because if I'm in a conversation with a guest that I'm doing an interview, in order to listen, I can't be thinking something at the same time. That's one of the odd things about listening. In other words, I can still hear them. The words technically are coming out of the computer where we're talking. But if I'm thinking something at the same time, what they've said doesn't go in. I haven't heard it. I've not been listening to it. And this reminds me of writing. When we're writing, we're in listening mode more than anything else. We're in receiving mode. Now, it's a little trickier because in a conversation, whether I'm interviewing or just with a friend, I have something to tune to, which is the other person and the words they're saying. And so I receive them. But in a conversation, if I start thinking as they're talking, then I don't actually hear what they're saying. My own thoughts consume my attention. And so what they've said goes by me. And this is what we're doing in writing in a way, because when we write, we are listening, I guess you could say, to your muse, whatever you're comfortable with, but I have to be receiving, which means I can't be thinking something other than what I'm focusing on. I can't be thinking about something that's not the story. In a way, I can't be thinking at all because when I'm listening to a person, I'm just receiving what they're saying. But when I'm writing, if I'm going to receive, I can't be thinking also. It's the most active kind of awareness I can think of. And it's tricky because we're alone and there's no other person we can tune to. But we're tuning to the story, we're tuning to what we like about it. And if we can keep our mind from dashing away to why isn't the idea coming? And is this story good enough? And whoa, this is so hard. Thinking something, because the thinking blocks the receiving. If we can keep our mind still enough, then the idea comes. It's a fantastic practice. It's a way of connecting to the channel that from which ideas and inspiration come and energy comes, really. But you have to shut the mind off because the mind just blocks it. Now, once you get going, it's exciting. Then you're working with the ideas and you're receiving and working and receiving and working and receiving and working. But often you have to sit there in a very quiet receiving mode, listening to something that only you can see and in a way only you can hear. But if you do that, that is how you will receive the new ideas for the new story. It's a great practice. If you can learn to listen at the desk, you can learn to listen to your partner, listen to your friends, and listen to yourself. Because when I'm bored, when I don't know what to do with myself, when I'm not writing, I do, if I can remember, I do the same thing. I get still, I get quiet, and I listen, I tune in, I stop thinking. And then something comes. I mean, thinking is fine, but mostly I think it blocks the new thought, the new idea. Most thinking is just old ideas. And when you're writing, every sentence should be new, right? Every sentence should be a new thought, a new idea. But if you're only going to get new if you Stop focusing on the old, thinking about it, and wait for the new to come. That's what writing is just such a creative act. The new thing, the new thing, the new thing. It's fantastic. Great practice listening. Great practice listening when there's no one to listen to. Oh, yeah. Boy, if you can listen to that silence, you can listen to other people, and it's a better way to be. It's a better way to relate to people. It's a better way to relate to yourself. Yes, it is. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. I love doing these. And as always, if you want more, hit subscribe. And if you like it, say so. I want to hear from you. So until next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.